afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Hello, 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 everyone. How are we doing today? Thank you guys for being here today. As always, please do me take the opportunity as you come in, guys. Please drop in the chat if you wouldn't mind. Please drop in where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. Hey guys, it's Oloropo here, and we're going to have a good one today. I know it's been a while since I've come on for the midday check-in, but I am on today, and we are ready. We are ready. If you are ready, I am definitely ready. And what we're going to talk about today, as you can see by the title, is 5 ways to know you're already too late to get rich. Right? If you're not rich yet, like if you haven't already gotten rich, if you're not already like, hey, I'm rich, right? These are the 5 things that you're going to know how you're too late, like that it's too late for you to get rich. Now, you want to stay. If we are late, what to do in that situation, right? What late means. Give me a moment, guys. I got to check on something real quick. All right. Don't go anywhere. Please hold on. All right. Let me take a look. All right. So that's all good. All right. We're back. How's everybody doing today, guys? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I want to have a drink. Guys, we're talking, right? If you're really looking to find financial freedom, right? I'm moving away from using the term being rich because being rich is different for a lot of people, right? What you're really looking for is financial freedom. You're looking for the ability to be able to know that the things that you have to pay for are not a concern, right? So what does that mean? It's like, okay, well, what if life was absolutely free? What if everything that you wanted was provided for you? Where would you go? What would you do, right? How would you, like, what actions are you willing to take to go and do those things that are enjoyable for you? Now, financial freedom is simply saying that for whatever those things are, whenever those things are, you're going to take advantage of it. You're going to go, you're going to do those things. You're going to be happy and you're going to live through that, right? Now, what if those things aren't available for you, right? So what happens when those things are not available? What happens when those things are not a part of what you can do, right? What happens in that case? What happens when you say, hey, I want to go do these things. I want to take these steps. I want to make these next moves, but I'm not capable of doing so. Like, I don't have the skills to make this thing happen. I don't have the tools to make this thing happen. What do? Right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the things that we can do. We're going to not only just talk about the things that we do, we're going to talk about the way we do it, right? We're going to understand how today is too late, guys, right? So if you're worried about something that's happening right now, it's too late, right? But if you're ready to not have this concern tomorrow, you're right on time. And this is what's super important, right? This is the part that we have to begin to accept and understand is if we want to make moves, if we want to take strides, if we want to grow, we have to understand that what we're doing right now is for our future. We have to stop trying to figure out, hey, how am I going to survive today? What do I need to do today to make the day as strong, as great as possible, when we haven't done what we needed to until this point, right? It's not about winning today. It's really not. It's really not about winning today. It's about winning the future, right? So, uh, based. Okay. I guess that's your name. BIT. All right. There's a lot of monkey images in there. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for dropping a comment. Please take a moment to always check in, guys, as you do. I appreciate it. If you would take a moment, go ahead and drop in. There we go. Also, if you get opportunity, guys, go ahead and drop it to the chat where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are, right? Would love to have that information. It's going to help us throughout this. So, Oil Man, what's going on, man? What's new with you? Everything's beautiful, man. Still growing, still progressing. Thank you for checking in with me today. How's it out there in Texas? Are you at home in Texas right now, or are you traveling? Hey guys, I appreciate stopping in. I also appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you for that. Please, if you haven't had an opportunity, take a look at the channel, see what we have. Please don't be afraid to like and subscribe. All right. So, 5 ways to know that you are already too late. Right, traveling for another week out of the country. All right, man. Hey, be safe on your travels. Get back home safe. Hope everything is going well. Do you ever get to take any of the family with you when you travel? All right, guys, as you're coming in, I do want to make sure I'm sharing with everyone. I want to give people an opportunity to get in here. This is a midday. In the morning when I go live, I have like a limited window. I'm usually on for about 30, 45 minutes at the most. This is a midday, so I have a lot more time to be able to use. I want everyone to have an opportunity to get this information. I also want you to have the opportunity, grab yourself something to write with. Grab a pen and a pencil. Grab a way to capture this information. All right, let's see if this comes back up. Having some issues with my connection, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on over to the device, work with that. How you guys doing? Let me know if you can hear me and see me, guys. Will you say, oh man, oh yeah, wife is too bossy to let me go alone usually. Oh man, isn't it wonderful being married? Hey guys, for any of you guys who are not married, I'm married. My wife and I, we are celebrating our anniversary tomorrow. It will be 12 years for us in marriage. We've been together longer. We've been together for close to 15 years. But the thing that's important to understand, guys, this is really close. This is really important to understand. Being married is phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. The highs for a committed marriage are much better than any of the lows. I mean, you see a lot of comedies and they talk about a lot of different things. I think if you're focused on growing, like if your focus is growth in your life, if your focus is continuing to grow in your life, getting married is a phenomenal way to help individuals grow. It allows for you to become better in ways you didn't know you had the ability to. And when you get better at doing what you do, hello, my love, there's my wife. She'll let you know. When you start learning how to be connected in a marriage and then to make that grow, all this other stuff becomes simple, man. Growing a business, growing relationships with strangers, coming up with ways to develop game plans, how to think, how to communicate, how to not take things personally, how to work outside of emotion. When you work on yourself as an individual and then you work on yourself as part of a marriage, knowing that this marriage is going to survive, like knowing there's no eject button for this, oh man, it's beautiful. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Your whole life, like, right, all my life. Like it is like, dude, it's phenomenal when you get to that place. And so that's why when he says, hey, the wife is usually too bossy to let me go alone, usually, like when he says that, I get it. But that's not a bad thing because, right, here's the thing, like that a lot of people miss. we want her to come anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, no committed man in a marriage wants to be away from his wife on long periods of time, right? Here's some things that we need to take in as men, and that a lot of women need to take in as well. When we go out and we go to do work, right? The reason for that work is because of these people at home, because of how we care for them and the life we want to present to them. And men are pretty simple. Like, just like coming home and having someone there to say, hey, babe, like, it's good. How you doing? Right? I don't like those little things to motivate men are phenomenal, right? So thank you for being here, old man. I'm glad you checked in. Thank you, my love, for being here as well. I love you. So I do want to go ahead, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. You're right. My wife's beautiful and very intelligent. She's free to be all over my life, everywhere, all over my life, like imprinted on every moment of it. And so that's a big thing. That's a big thing about being able to carry that. And what's really huge about it is, it's like, do you understand how much of a boss move that is? Like, when you have people who are talking about their relationships and their difficulty in finding a good relationship, and you're like, dude, like, have you worked on you? And I'm not saying marriage is perfect. I'm not saying there aren't disagreements. I'm not saying there aren't difficult conversations and stressful moments. But when you know that every difficult conversation, every difficult moment, every challenge is leading you closer and closer to precious golden moments that you already share, and that you're going to continue to compound those, dude, it's absolutely phenomenal. This has nothing to do with why I came on the live today, but every opportunity I get to speak to the benefit and the powers of marriage and understanding how your purpose as a person, as a child of God, is driven by your connection and relationship with someone and the children and the people that you nurture in this world, dude, it is amazing. I mean, amazing. And now you get to work travel. Like, hey, me and my wife, we just took a trip last week. We had to take a trip for work last week. But like, my wife is with me, right? And so when we're out and we're working and we're doing business, but then when we get to come home and it's like, well, forget the financial part of, hey, we can this is a tax write-off because like it's something the business did. Just that knowing, man, like, I cannot share with you. I don't understand. I don't know if all you guys understand, dude. It is freaking amazing, man. It's amazing. People believe in a long relationship isn't sexy. On the contrary, it's always more and more attractive. Always. It's constantly growing. Like, the appreciation. Like, so, like, sometimes I'll just, like, my wife will lay down next to me in the bed, and I'll just lay in the bed and I'll just stare at her. Like, I'll just stare at her. I'm like, I'm gonna stare at her till she's uncomfortable. And it's hard to get her uncomfortable. It's like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just stare at you until you're uncomfortable. And then just knowing, like, dude, that's awesome. I'm not gonna be like, I don't wanna be too hallmark on you guys today. Like I said, our anniversary is tomorrow. It's been a beautiful life. It's been a wonderful journey. We have so much time still ahead of us. And there's so many things that we're sharing with our children that's important. But that kind of leads into what the topic is today. And the topic today, and I based this around finances. I said that it's a matter of getting rich. It's so good to do that, right? It's like, the title of it is the 5 signs that you've already behind. No, that's not the title. The title that I went with today was 5 ways to know you're already too late to get rich, right? So getting rich, that's a quick tie-in, man. That's like a clickbait title. Really, what we want to talk about today are the 5 things that you need to understand to know why you're doing what you're doing now and how it's going to impact your life. First thing I gotta remind you guys is, let's stop living backwards. Let's stop like Oil Man, been with his wife 25 years, right? He can't look back, right, and say, well, I would have been with my wife for 27 years if I had done this 2 years before. So there's nothing he can do today to take him back to 2 years before, those 2 years before. So from 18 to 20, those 2 years he spent with her not being his woman, with them not being in a relationship, He can't go back and change that. There are no actions he can take today to change what happened in her life during that 2-year time period. There are no actions that he can take today that are going to change what happened in his life during that 2-year time period. But he can learn from that time period. He can learn from the moment when he looked at her and he says, I want her to be in my life. And whatever time period passed before he started doing the work to get her into his life, he can learn from that and he can say, hey, I'm not making that mistake again. I'm not gonna miss out on my opportunities in the future because this happened in the past and I learned from it. That's not how you want it to work. What we have to understand is that what we do today is for tomorrow. If you keep trying, people keep asking questions. What should I do? What should I invest in? What type of stock should I buy? Hi, how are you doing today? Where should I invest? What type of business should I start? And they're looking at what can I do right now, right? Well, if you're looking at what to do right now, you have to look at what you want to see in the future, right? She married me when I was poor. She was the breadwinner for the first half. Things are definitely different now, and I'm so appreciative of her loyalty through my struggles. Indeed, dude, why does my feed keep crashing? For some reason, my feed just keeps going blank on me. Everything's paid up. Come on now, YouTube. So here's the thing. What's next for us, right? So when we start talking about, well, what are these 5 things that I need to do to make sure that they're taken care of? What are the 5 things? All right, so now, forget imagining getting married, like just live the marriage, dude. Sigma of marriage is beautiful. You joined late. Me and Old Man are having a great time right now just talking about our marriages. All right, so here's the first thing that we have to do. Here's the first thing you have to understand. The thing that lets you know that it's already too late, right? It's already too late to worry about this. This is something you have to do now. You're still waiting to feel ready. Does that, I'm just salty. Don't be, man. I'm telling you, take time. It's a beautiful place to be. So even in relationships, it's interesting because these things apply in every arena. They don't just apply in finances, right? You can't be salty about the relationship you're not in right now, right? Right? You don't need to imagine, right? It's the best to have someone pretty much grew up with and share, right? So it's great to have someone in your life. And then when you start growing together and the understanding, that's the biggest thing. Get with someone who wants to grow, right? So when you get with someone who wants to grow, you guys start growing together. And this first principle that I'm talking about here is you're still waiting to feel ready. So you're saying right now, Sigma, I grew up with no one. All right, so now you want, if you understand that this is something that you want, you can't change how you grew up. You can't change what yesterday looked like. You can't change the years that have passed and the things that you haven't done. Here's what you can do is you can get ready and you can start acting today. You can start taking action today, right? It's because if you're waiting for confidence, you're waiting for understanding, 15, stop it. If you're 15, don't worry about it. If I know who Sigma is, if you're 15, you're good. You got time. You got 5 years. You got 5 years to catch up to Gasman. I have a wife at 19, exactly. All right, CJ, how you doing, CJ? Thanks for stopping in. So here's the thing to understand, guys. When you start talking about this first thing that you have to do, this first knowledge, this knowledge check, this area where we have to understand we need to make different choices and take different actions, it's going to be about waiting to feel ready, right? So taking action isn't about feeling ready. It's about taking the action, right? So the notes, I have some notes here I want to share them with you. So it says, so what I wrote down is if you're waiting for confidence or if you're waiting for clarity or if you're waiting for the perfect time, wealth, relationships, happiness, success, they will all pass you by, right? They'll all get past you because you're waiting for the perfect time, right? So what has to happen is, if you want to be successful in those areas, you have to start to take action. You have to understand, I'm not perfect. I don't have it all together yet. Like the business that my wife and I have started, the YouTube pages and platforms that we're on, that we've launched, and the work that we've started to do, it's not about us being ready right now. It's about us taking action, right? Marco, exactly. Marco said it. Nike says just do it, but not just anything. You have to start doing the thing that goes towards what you want to do. And here it is. Here's the bottom line. It can change exponentially. For example, I've only been on this channel since January 6th. Started this channel January 6th. Before then, started doing morning walks. You know, wanted to like get in the morning, start getting my head ready to take care of my day. Subsequently, while I'm getting my head ready, getting for my day, I was like, I got this channel. Let me just see if there's anybody who would like to just be a part of just walking and talking in the morning for about 30 minutes. Walk for about 30 minutes and then run back home. And then as I started to do that, I understood and I started to see that there were people, there was a community that wanted to be a part of those walk and talks, who wanted to be a part of those morning routines. So that wasn't originally a part of the plan, but I started to take action. You have to start to do things. You have to understand that anything that you do is not for today. Like, I'll give you kind of an example. When you hit the brakes on your car, it's not the stop where you are. It's the stop 100 feet, 200 feet, 400 feet in front of you. That's when you hit the brakes on your car. If you hit the brakes on your car where you are right now and you've already hit something, it's too late, right? So you don't hit the brakes now. You hit the brakes before you get there. It's the same thing with accelerating. If you want to get somewhere, if there's somewhere in front of you where you want to be, you need to put your foot on the gas now. You have to start moving in order for you to get there. Old Man says, I have failed in a few ideas, but don't get scared, everyone. We are alive to learn, understand perseverance, patience, etc. Exactly. Things fall into place eventually. God willing, we grow, right? Here's what I said. I share this all the time on the Walk and Talk. I share it on the channel. It's a part of my it's a part of my discipline dividend strategy. And sincerely, what has to happen is we have to develop discipline. And the 4 pillars for discipline are going to be, from beginning to end, repetition, right? Followed by patience, understanding we have to keep working. Followed by consistency, which is a plan that allows for us to show growth and development, followed by perseverance. And perseverance shows up in the physical state of endurance. Perseverance as a thought process, it lets you know that you've had challenges before, you will have challenges in the future, but as long as you continue to perform consistently, to follow the repetition, be patient and perform consistently, we will see and achieve our goal. Even if on this journey, the initial endeavor does not result in the outcome that we wanted, we've learned, we've grown, because every process is a growing process. I know I still have plenty of time, but I don't know how to stop wasting it. Stop. Like, if you have plenty of time, and that's not a hard question to answer. So one of the things about anything that you want to do, when you want to do it, who is that? Marco just said it. Nike said, just do it. If you want to stop wasting your time, then start planning your time. You have to come up with a strategy. And this is what a lot of people deal with, is they don't account for their time. Right? When you get a job and you work for a company, and anyone out there who has a job and is working for a company, you understand that you have to have a schedule. When you walk onto a job, if you've worked in food service, retail, if you've worked in commercial entities, if you worked in real estate, they plot out your time. Here are your time to make your phone calls. Here are your time to answer your emails. This is where you need to be for this to happen, so someone else can go somewhere else for this to happen. That is a part of how the businesses are planned out, how they're designed. Why is that important? Because if you don't have an indication or an instruction on how to spend your time, where to spend your time, and what you should be doing when you're in that space, then time gets consumed. It gets wasted. So wasting time is like, I don't know what I want to do. So, and now we have so many places in the world where we can find distractions. So many places in the world where we can find find ways to waste time, to consume our time, and it happens really quick. We want to make sure we have figured out that we want to achieve something and we start to work on it. Old man is suggesting physical exercise, anything healthy, personal investing into yourself, plus your programming, your psychosis, correctly, and you'll be looking good. Great. Now, I agree. 15, living with my parents, I take risk and work for free at money-making businesses or getting into something that orders bonuses. Right. Now, here are some things. These are all great, right? These are all great. Sigma, one of the things I would suggest is if you are at home and your parents are at home, talk to your parents. Like, there's a lot to learn from people who are grown. And it's not about talking to your parents to say, hey, I need you to figure my life out for me, or I need you to, it's like, hey, I feel like I'm wasting some time. You guys got any ideas for me, right? Because right inside of your house, right inside of your life, right where you are, there are opportunities for guidance, right? Now, I work with people and I talk to people all the time and I help develop plans for people and I help them figure out strategies and schedules to work with their life. And a part of that process has to have me get to know the individuals more more intimately, more in depth. I need to have a better understanding of who you are. What is it that you're looking for? What are some of the challenges that you faced in the past? Let's cover some of these things. Your parents are going to have that, right? Because the first thing it's going to start with, right? And this is really key. You're going to have to be self-aware and you're going to have to be self-accountable. Because when you want to stop wasting time, there's no one around you who can stop you from wasting time. Your parents can't stop you from wasting time. Your teachers, your friends, only you can prevent time wasting. And what does that require from you? It requires for you to be self-aware. You have to know certain things bother me. Certain environments bother me. Certain things are a challenge for me. There are certain things I don't want to do, right? And then you have to also be self-aware enough to know, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this. These things are beneficial to me. These things are not beneficial to me. You have to understand those things. You first have to be self-aware. Now you have to hold yourself accountable. So if you say you want to do something with fitness and you're like, I don't like getting up early in the morning. Okay, fine. Studies have shown doing things you don't like actually helps add time to your life. It extends your longevity. Here's the bigger thing though. If you don't like getting up early in the morning and that's the time to actually work on yourself, get up early in the morning. And it's not impossible. Like most things will end up being excuses, right? Most reasons for why we choose not to do something will end up being an excuse versus being a reason. And you have to be self-aware and self-accountable enough to say, I'm making excuses, get up. Because I'm letting you know, as a married man, there are mornings when I get up, and I've said this on my walk and talk, and I'm heading out the house, and I'm getting out there. I've moved it back to 5 a.m., but there's time when I'm going out there at 5 a.m. where I would much rather be in bed every morning, not most, every morning I would much rather be in bed and next to my wife. And holding my wife and being in that time, I'm awake. I have this opportunity to share this time with my wife. And I'm out because I understand the work that I'm doing is towards a purpose and it's an investment. And I'm doing something that I don't want to do. I don't want to get out of the bed and be distanced from my wife. I don't want that time away from my wife. But I also understand the benefit and the value of it, and then how precious and how important and how much I cherish that time when I'm back with my wife. Old man said, I meant commissions and bonuses, got you. Always work on learning, it's growing, and that growing causes change. Change creates challenges. Always fight to overcome challenges. Learn to fail, right? Get burned early and appreciate those that don't and hang on to those for life, right? Because great contacts and business relationships can also be a very likely successful, happy marriage. Dude, preach, man. Listen, old man, I'm gonna have to get you to join me on one of these lives one time, man. I'm gonna have to get me and you both on here talking, right? Sigma, I used to exercise a lot, but I started thinking there's no point and I haven't done anything in months, so I'm really weak now. It's hard to start over. You're not starting over. You're just starting. That's another thing. So and I get it. You're 15. Like you're never starting over. You're just starting. Like if you have a roof over your head, don't waste time in the retail or fast food unless you want to do those types of businesses. And so here's the thing. You're not starting over, right? This is a premise that a lot of people believe, is that they're starting over in life. You're not. Once you start doing something, you're doing it, right? You can take a break from it. You may take a break longer than you need to take from it, but you need to get back to it. Keep doing it, right? Now, here's why this is important. People feel like they're starting over because they look at where they were when they stopped. And then they're like, okay, well, how long is it going to take me to get back to where I was? How long did it take you to get there in the first place? I don't know. But momentum is easier to keep than it is to break inertia, meaning that it's easier to keep a ball rolling than it is to start a ball rolling, right? So you've done it in the past. You got to get back to it, right? Understand that, and this is the great part about it, is you know what it looks like at the end. So keep doing that work, right? Start doing the things that are going to get you to where you want to be, right? That's what's going to be important, right? Now, that was one. We were going over, you're still waiting to feel ready. And that's what you're saying right now, is that you used to work out, and now you feel like you're starting over. Don't wait, right? Don't wait to get ready. Understand that there are things to do and start doing those things. I don't care, squats, jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups, no weights, with weights, dips, like it doesn't matter. If you know that you want to work out, start working out. Set that time, create that repetition, and do those things on a regular basis, right? Now, here's the next thing. You haven't invested in a skill that pays you back. And this is what Oil Man is talking about. Oil Man is talking about getting into things that build you and will return you with money, right? That's super important. So when you start talking about, hey, what do I want to do? Like, how do I get into a workout? Like, the reason the recommendation is to work for free for businesses that make money is because you are not there to grow that business. And the person who allows for you to work there understands that you're not there to grow their business. They can give you menial tasks. They can save money, right? You have a value to them, but that value is not directly associated to making their business bigger. But for you, it's phenomenal because you're taking action now for things that are going to be beneficial for you in the future. The push-ups that you do today are not so that you can win a push-up contest today. It's not so that you can get the muscle back that you had yesterday. It's to build the muscles that you'll need tomorrow. That is the process of doing anything. Stop waiting to get ready and understand that you need to be invested in a skill that's going to pay you back. How is this going to return to you? It doesn't matter. Again, we've talked about relationships. We've talked about fitness. We've talked about finances. It's the same in all of these categories. What's going to be important is the energy that you put into it. You need to invest in something that's going to pay you back. And when you're talking about getting paid back financially, you want to invest in developing yourself. If you haven't developed the discipline to be able to do the work. And the other reason that people suggest that you work for free is because when you work for free, you understand that the work itself is the work. And then the rewards from the work will blow your mind. You can't, if you put $1 on your time, if you put $1 amount on your time, you'll always have $1 amount on your time. If you grow yourself to be invaluable, then it doesn't matter what the dollar amount is if you can provide that level of value to someone, right? That's why working on yourself, working in a company to learn the information and understand the underlying factors of how it works and getting the information to be able to apply it for yourself, super important. That's why there's a recommendation of volunteering and working for free. Gasman said, be very tolerant to verbal abuse. Laugh it off silently behind closed doors. Be humble and do whatever you have to do without being asked. It's important to have a level of understanding that prevents you from being distracted. And the reason I say this is because as we're going through the growth process, as we're going through the development process, distractions, someone saying something to you to make you feel a certain way. And again, this is a great thing about having a spouse. This is a great thing about having someone else that you can turn to. If you start living in that moment, if you start living in that, that feeling, that sadness, that disappointment, that conversation, that comment, now you're going to start taking it to wherever you're going. You're going to take it to work. You're going to take it home. You're going to take it in your conversations and relationships with others. And now, what's your goal? You're so distracted by this communication or this interaction or this particular thing that you're no longer focused on your goal. And if you can't focus on your goal, then you're not doing work to go towards it. You're just spinning your wheels, and distractions keep you stuck. And so you want to avoid those. How do we do it? We have to have humility. We have to understand that there are things that will come up that don't apply to where we're going. And we have to know, hey, let's take a moment. Let's get past it, right? So now we've gone over two things. You stop trying to feel ready. Let's get started with the work. And you have to invest in a skill that's going to pay you back. And so when it comes specific to finances, you have to start to invest in skills that are going to pay you. The types of skills that are going to pay you back are your better understanding of finances, your better understanding of the markets, your better understanding of investments, understanding of money, banking systems, foreign currencies. You want to invest in that. So you want to spend time learning. You need to learn how houses are sold, how houses are bought. How do we figure out the renovation costs? How do we figure out how to get the loans? Where does the loan money come from? Who manages it? Like, all of this is important. You want to invest in that information, invest in that knowledge, because as you invest in a skill that you can use that's going to pay you back, you're investing in you, right? So now we're growing ourselves, and now we're going to get a return from that investment. That's step 3. Step 2, invest in things that are going to pay you back. And now, here's the third thing, and this is a big mistake that a lot of people make, and I had to point this out because it's a misnomer and people have believed it for a long time. And I want to say at one point it may have been true. Like I want to say at a point in our history, especially here in the United States, that this may have been true, depending on how quickly you're able to acquire funds, to acquire money. But this one is simply stating, you think saving is a wealth strategy. We save money to spend money. You do not save money to get rich. Stop thinking that you are saving money in order to be able to, at some point, live off of this money and the returns from this money to be able. That's not why we save money. You save money to invest money. You save money because there's an investment that you want to make, and they say, hey, you need $3,500 to make this investment, and you only have $1,200. All right, I need to get $3,500. If I don't have the skill set to go out and convince someone to give me the remainder of these funds to get this done, then I need to go out and find a way of saving this money, right? So what does that mean to us? Well, it means that we have to figure out and we have to put a plan in place for budgeting to build that money, right? And so when you start to build that money by going out and start to save money, understand you're not saving money, that you're not going to save yourself rich. You're not going to, I'm going to put $300 a week. Hey, Iggy, what's going on? So we're not going to put $300 a week into something with the belief that, hey, this $300 a week is going to come back and be, just a moment. So there's not going to be $300 a week, right? We're not going to save $300 a week and be under the impression that this $300 a week with savings and the interest that comes back from the bank is going to be what we're going to retire on. I'm going to retire as a multi-millionaire and I'm saving $300 a week and then I'm going to be rich. Then what? So once it goes into your savings and you get the interest on it, when you start using it, then what? When you start spending it, when you start purchasing things with it, then what? Are your purchases going to be at a greater rate than the return on it? You have to understand you cannot save yourself rich. If you think you're going to save yourself wealthy, then you're wrong. You can start today. You can start today by saving money, but you have to understand the purpose for saving the money is to invest the money. It's to spend the money. You want to save up for a vacation? Phenomenal. Start setting money aside to save up for a vacation. Make sure you're putting money aside into investments to make sure that when you return from your vacation, your money is still working for you. So if you want to save up for a vacation, so you spend 18 months saving up for a dream vacation, and during that time, it accrued some interest, and now your money that you're going to use for vacation has made some money for you to be able to invest into some other stocks or things like that or other areas, great, do that. What I'm telling you, however, is don't be under the impression, don't be under the misperception that you're going to save yourself wealthy. You do not get wealthy. You do not get rich saving money. In order for us to truly get rich, we need to put our money to work. We need to understand that our money needs to make money when we can't. All right? Now, here's the next thing. This also goes with saving. You always hear you have to pay yourself first. I think this is like when this became clear to me, it changed the way this was one of the major breakthroughs that changed the way that I thought, right? It really changed because it is a mindset. And the mindset is rich mindset versus poor mindset. I believe it was Myron Golden who I saw who said that the mindset of poor people is that money is to pay bills, right? I'm going to eat Mexican tacos in Mexico. Watch it live. Enjoy, man. Definitely enjoy those. So one of the mindsets that we have is that the purpose of money is to pay bills. So I took a moment and I just asked my children. I'm like, hey, why do we go to school? We go to school so we can get a job and go to college, get a job, and then be able to pay our bills. That's what they're learning from school. Well, who has to teach them otherwise? Me. Hello. Hey guys, it's on me. I do want a taco, man. So one of the things that's going to be important is you're going to have to understand, okay, well, if this is where we are, if this is what my children are learning through the school system, what am I learning? How am I growing? What am I going to change in their perception? How do I show them different, right? And so now my children have to be involved in what me and my wife do for our business. My children have to understand the purpose of money is not to pay your bills. The purpose of money is to make more money. You need to have goals. You need to have things to work towards. Even that savings account that I'm talking about, that savings account has a goal attached to it. So now your money is given a purpose. You're like, hey, I need a certain amount of money to go here in a certain period of time. So we're going to allocate this money to this so that this is available for us when it's time for us to go here and do this thing. Right. So now, once we start doing that, we have an understanding that your money is not to pay your bills. You can pay bills with your money. You can pay bills with money, but that's not the purpose of money. The purpose of money is to make more money. We have to find a way to put our money to work. Like old man said, when you're young, you work for free to get the knowledge. You later exchange that knowledge for money, and then you invest that money with your knowledge. You invest that money so that that money comes back to you, so that it grows. And now as your money starts to grow, you have a way to invest that money for your future. This is not about today. You're not going to invest that money today. Why would you? If you want to go on a trip and the trip costs you $2,500 and then you say, hey man, how do I get the money to go on a trip today? Or how do I get the money to go on this trip? I don't know how much you got. Well, it costs $2,500. How much you got? I got $2,500. You got the money for the trip. Why would you ask what to do today to get the money to take a trip for the money you have today, right? So money has to be future. Like the work that money does has to be done in the future. The work that we do today has to be about what we're looking to see in the future. All right, so now once we take this understanding and we have an approach and we can say, hey, I get it. The work that I'm doing today is about me developing myself and growing my finances, growing whatever I'm working for the future result that I'm looking for. Boom, we get to work, right? Now we're on step 4 and we understand that our money needs a goal. And a goal is always in the future. It's not in the past. So what we do now, if you're asking, hey man, what crypto should I invest in? I don't find a crypto, invest. Hey, what stock should I get today? Why are you asking about what stock you should get today? In order for you to know what stock you should get today, first thing you need to do is you need to start studying stocks today. You need to start studying the market because it's not about that thing. It's about you. And this is the power of it. And this is why I share it in this way, guys. It is not about the thing that you're looking at. It is never about that thing. It's not about that car. It's not about the $1 million. It's never about that thing. It is about you. It is about the work that you do on you. It's not about your promotion. It's not about your investments. It's about the work that you've done on yourself to be the person capable of building and sustaining this thing that you're looking for. It doesn't matter if it's your fitness. It doesn't matter if it's your relationship, your business, your income, your house, your car. It is not about whether or not it can be done. It is not about the cost. It is about, have you turned yourself into the person capable of getting it done and keeping it done? Pepe coin and even a piece of Ethereum. All types of crypto. All types of crypto to be able to invest in. Listen, you learn from your mistakes, right? I learned from my mistakes. I tried day trading, right? First mistake I made is I didn't understand that in order to do day trading, you had to have a certain account. You had to have certain clearances in order to be able to do it on a regular basis. I was like, all right, well, let me try day trading. So it took a few $100, threw it in there, and they were like, okay, you've made 3 trades. We're about to close your account. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so in order for you to be a day trader, you have to have a certain financial threshold. You have to have an agreement. And day trading is based on seconds. It's not based on minutes or hours. It's based on seconds. So if you have $10,000 worth of something and you throw it on top of something and you buy it, and then 3 seconds later, it shoots up by 5 cents, and then you want to get your $10,000 back out. If your system is laggy and everybody sold it when it went up 3 cents, and then your sale doesn't get in until it drops 7 cents, you lost money. I found that out the hard way, because I didn't have a real-time system. I was running on a system that's running with a delay. So what do? You start doing the work. You start investing. You start getting the knowledge. You start making yourself, right? You start making yourself the person who's capable of acquiring, sustaining, and maintaining that. You have to do that type of work. It's a risk game to learn. You might lose, but once you learn to win, you'll understand how to move your investment around. Correct. That's why you want to try to learn for free. You want to work for people who, or work for organizations or companies that are doing it so you can get the knowledge for free. And now you don't have to worry about going to school to learn it. And now when you start to put your money at risk, you're already ahead of the game. You already have a leg up. And so that's number 4. That's thing number 4 that's letting you know it's already too late if you're in this place. What's going on, Chinmav? How you doing today? And so now, you were in this morning, correct if I believe. How you doing? Please, hey guys, if you're in here, if you haven't had an opportunity yet, man, if you guys haven't had an opportunity to drop a thumbs up, please drop a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And as always, if you can get a chance to check in with the time, where you're from, I would appreciate that as well. Lucky Brawl Stars. Hey, I'm 15. You know, I don't have either money or savings. Neither I have parental money. So should I start a YouTube channel so I can get some money to invest? Until then, I'm going to learn from YouTube. Sigma should dedicate time in the gym, apprenticeship programs. Go back up and read the feed. Oil Man has been here. We had another young man come in by the name of Sigma. He's already here, but Sigma's still here. Sigma, meet Lucky. Both of you guys are 15. You guys might want to connect and kind of talk about some ways that that you guys can start to do that work, because you're both, the interesting thing is, as 15-year-olds, you're both in this moment looking for opportunities to grow your future. You're taking actions now that are going to impact your life 10 years from now, right? So again, before I make an advice on whether or not you should start a YouTube channel or whether or not you should be doing something else, the first thing, like I said, go read. Oil Man gave a lot of great advice earlier about apprenticeship programs, working for free. I would need to know more about what you're doing, where you are, the type of knowledge that you have, the skills, how you look to apply them in order to be able to map that out. But I'll tell you, the first thing you're doing right now is you're learning. That's the first thing. You got to learn. You got to work on you. You and Sigma are both in that place. You're doing that at 15 years old. The next thing that you have to do as you start to learn is you have to start understand if you want to start a YouTube channel, right now it's free. Do it because it's free. Like, it doesn't hurt you to start the YouTube channel. It doesn't have to be good. Go back to some of your best YouTubers. See if you can find their first stream. Take a look at some of the best YouTubers' first stream, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, how did this person ever achieve anything? Because at some point you have to start doing something. So yeah, if you want to start, hey Lucky, if you want to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel, man. Put it up. You may find out that the thing that you started doing isn't what you'll end up doing. I saw a young man last year doing the lead up to the elections, where I started watching his channel, and his conversations were designed specifically to get people in and talking. And so he did a great job of creating this environment. Okay, sorry about that, where he starts working on what was I saying? Oh, so when you start working on developing yourself and growing, and the gentleman started to grow his platform, I went back to see how he started. He had started 4 years earlier as a reaction guy. And I was able to go through his timeline and see as he tried different things. And so he had done reaction videos. He started by reacting to, I believe, wrestling. And then he moved on to reacting to songs. And then he reacted to other things. And then he found that he put some political things out and some things about politics and government, and that people were kind of interested. He found the right tags, and he was like, okay, here is where the money is. And then he stayed in the area in which he got monetized. You don't have to. You can start your channel. You can let it be whatever you want. And then as it grows, grow yourself. As you're growing yourself, you can grow your channel as well. All right, so let's refresh, guys. The 4 things that we've covered so far that are impacting your finances. 1, you're still waiting to feel ready, right? Stop waiting to feel ready. You just asked this question, Lucky, start the channel. You got it, put something on it. Stop waiting to feel ready, start doing the work. You haven't invested in skills that pay you back. Start investing, start learning the things that are going to bring value to you. Stop investing in talents and skills that do not have value. Invest in those things that are going to bring a value to you. Fitness brings you health when you invest in fitness. When you invest in people, it brings you people into your life. Old Man stated that earlier. You develop relationships. When you invest into yourself, into your knowledge, it returns knowledge and skills that you can then trade for more money. They give you value, right? So these things are the things that you need to invest in. So make sure you're investing in things and skills that will pay you back. Next, stop thinking that saving is a wealth strategy. It is not. Saving money is not always necessary to be able to achieve a goal. That's what saving money is. Saving money is about acquiring tools to be able to achieve a specific goal. All right, next, 4, Your budget is built around your bills, not your goals. That's a big issue, right? Do not build your financial portfolio or your financial budgeting system around your bills, because if your bills exceed your finances, you need to cut back on your bills. If you're 15 Sigma, lucky, you guys don't have any bills yet. Perfect. Acquire as much money as you can from your family, from your loved ones, from whatever you do for work, and start to invest it. If you want to start saving it because you don't know what to invest it in yet, do that. Great. Understand though, you're not saving it in order for you to be able to get rich off of it. You're saving it until you get the knowledge necessary on how to invest it to make sure that it returns to you. And a lot of times that investment is just in yourself. Sigma, it may be on a gym membership. Lucky, it may be on a gaming console or a new PC. Like, there are different ways. So you have to understand going through this process that saving money is not to pay your bills. It's to meet your goals. It's to get you to your goals, right? And then here's the final thing. Here's number 5, guys. Here's what we've been talking all day about. The thing that you need to know, right? Thanks a lot, man. I am from India. It's my last year in high school. You can finish your whole school. All right. Quite interested in nutrition, fitness, psychology. Reading books will start on these niches. Awesome. Do that, man. Do it. Listen to what I'm telling you, Lucky. I believe you and Sigma, if you guys can find a way to see each other or to connect or communicate, I'm not sure how that works on YouTube exactly, but if you guys can find a way to connect, you two guys, I'm not sure where Sigma's from, but you two guys, I believe Sigma's in the USA, you're on opposite side of the planets, but you guys are traveling the same path. You're on the same journey. That connection and that network, the people who you can reach in India, who he can't, the people who you can reach, the people who he can reach in the United States that you can't. They both lead to great things. They both lead to growth and development, right? They both lead to opportunities for both of you. That's going to be my recommendation, is for you guys to try to find a way to connect and keep up the work. Focus on that fitness physiology. Focus on fitness and health. Learn. Find somewhere where you can work for free. Read books. Research on the internet. Stop using Google or any of these other search engines. Use ChatGPT or some other form as AI as your search engine. Stop using the standard search engines. Search for depth and search for meaning and value. All right. And now, last thing, 5, you're consuming more than you're creating, right? What does that mean? It's not just about your personal finances. When I say you're consuming more than you're creating, it's not just about the things that you're consuming with your money. It's not just about the things that you're creating to bring you money. Are you creating anything for the world, right? So let's be honest. Let's be truthful. Value, right? And this is, again, I'm kind of picking one of the things off of Myron Golden. One of the things Myron Golden clearly states is that the money that you want is in the pockets of the people. There are already people who have the money that you want to make you rich in their pockets. You're not looking for there to be more money made to make you rich. You're not looking to go out and say, hey, let me start printing counterfeit cash because I want to be rich. No, we need to create. As we create, right? Because we consume, right? I pay my phone bill so that I can consume content on my phone. I pay my cable bill. I pay my electricity bill. I pay my water. So I'm paying for things. I pay for my food. I pay for fast food. I pay for food when we eat out. Old man is probably paying for tacos. But here's the thing. You are looking at a situation where that's us consuming. We're consuming our money and during that process. But what are we creating? Are we creating at a greater rate? Are we creating, which means, are we creating for other people value, right? We have to be able to create value. We have to be able to show to people that we have value. When we create more, we can consume more, because by creating opportunities, by creating value, by creating products and services, by being a creator, we bring more things to the table. By bringing those things to the table, keep in mind, this is not something that you're going to just say, hey, this is not about something to fix yesterday. This is about tomorrow. We have to look at what are the issues, what have I learned from yesterday that can help me solve issues for people tomorrow? What can I create that's going to have a value tomorrow? How do I do that? Well, you do that by working on yourself. And it's important, guys. It's important for us to understand that we have the ability to do that. Because once we lock in, as they say, my son hits me with it, I got to lock in. So once we lock in and we truly get committed to creating values for others, stop thinking about how do I get money into my pocket and start thinking about how do I solve problems for other people? How do I provide people solutions? Once you start providing solutions, once you start creating solutions, then you don't have to worry about getting money in your pocket. You just have to let the people who need the solution know. And then they will put the money in your pocket. Do you see how that works? You don't have to ask yourself, hey man, how do I get myself $1 million? No, you say, hey man, how do I get a broom that doesn't hurt your back? Or how do I get a light that I can turn off without having to get out the bed? Or how do I create a program that allows for you to manage your devices from one location? Or whatever it is. How do I solve this problem for someone? How do I help parents who don't have enough time to spend with their children get more time to spend with their children, right? Or how do I help them help their children feel better? What are the things that I can provide? So those are the types of things. Some small businesses. Hey, how do I help families that have pets be able to enjoy their time and their leisure without having to walk their pets at 6 o'clock in the morning? How do I do that? How do I make this happen for people's lives? How do I create something for these people? And as you create those things, you create value for yourself. You make yourself valuable. You understand that by providing a service or providing a product to someone else, that creating allows for you now to consume. So if you're creating 100 units of value and you're consuming 15 units of value, you have 85 units of value still to use. So you can put 50 units of that value to turn itself over. I'm gonna take 50 units and every week it's gonna create another unit. And that's how you grow. It is all about learning that there is an investment to make in yourself. If you wanna get rich quick, you can, for a price, possibly your freedom. Talk about it. Your life or all of the lives you love. You're going to make money regardless. Take your time and self-invest and lose and win. Correct. Making money quickly. And here's the thing. How much is enough for you to get paid an hour? I had this conversation with someone before. I'm like, how much money do you want to get paid an hour, right? And then we broke it down. So here's the thing. Understand, for about every dollar an hour you're paid, it's approximately $2,000 a year. Just about, a little under. So for every dollar an hour you're paid for a 40-hour work week, it works out to about $2,000 a year. It's 52.2 weeks in a year. All right, so if you get paid $40 an hour, you're making $80,000 a year before taxes. Taxes hit you around 20%. Right? So what's 20%? 16,000. That 80,000 now has already dropped down from 80,000 to sitting with that money yet. And so if we're looking at the fact that we have these finances and we have this money that we're working with and we're trying to grow, now have to go now, but I will subscribe. Thank you, Sigma. You take care. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping in. The thing that you want to keep in mind and the thing that you want to understand is you want to be able to say, hey, so let's move to $50 an hour. $50 an hour is $100,000 a year, right? What are we doing with it? Where are we going with it? What's our objective? What are we trying to grow, right? So all of these things are going to be important because even at $100,000, if you make $120,000 a year, you make $10,000 a month. The United States expectations is that in the United States, you will spend a third of your income on housing, right? And so that means if you're making $10,000 a month before taxes, remember they're going to take 20%, but their expectation is that if you're making $10,000 a month and you want to live in a community of people who make $10,000 a month, you need to be spending $3,300 a month on your housing minimum, right? Now, in order to buy a house, we're looking at mortgages now. $500,000 houses are having mortgages with a monthly payment after the PMI and the other insurances of over $4,000 to $5,000 a month. You can't even afford to buy the house yet. And you're making $120,000 a year. We have to change how we're thinking about money. We have to change what we're trying to do. We have to understand the goals, and we have to understand we need to start creating. We have to create value, and we have to create value within ourselves. And then we have to put our money to work for us. The future is going to be bleak if you think you can work to live. Those times are gone. They're not coming back. There used to be a time in the United States where you could work a minimum wage job. Hey, there used to be a time that if you worked as a shopping clerk, right? As a shopping clerk in a grocery store, that you could save money and buy a house. You could buy land and a house on minimum wage. There used to be a time where you worked as a janitor, even as an African American or as a black in the United States. There used to be a time. Now you were restricted to the areas where you could purchase. However, if you worked consistently, you could buy land and you could buy a house. It wasn't easy, but you could do it. By working, by being disciplined and having a job, those days are going away. If they haven't gone for you yet, they're approaching quickly. Being able to purchase a place of your own is going quickly. If you do not create something or you do not have something to sell to get the thing that you want, if your family does not already have land or investment or resources to pass on to you, then you're going to be challenged to find a space to buy something now. The area I live in, $500,000 homes, after the loans, all of the payments and everything else, the payment for the loan ends up being about $1.2 million for a $500,000 home. And we're talking about a 3-bedroom townhouse. Over $1 million, not to mention the HOA fees and the other issues. So the days of, hey, work hard and you can achieve it, are requiring a lot more work. And that hard work needs to be on you, not on your job. The job, trust me, we're looking at the point now. I just did the math for you. $10,000 a month is $120,000 a year. It doesn't go as far as it used to. It doesn't do the same things it used to do. What do you say? Old man says that's true, but after tax, 10 is like 8.5. Exactly, right? You get some of that back on your tax refund, you'll feel great, but in reality, you got most of that money went to Ukraine or that's why you like Texas, right? So Texas in your homes, the dollar goes further, especially if you're making a bit more than the average citizen. It does, because in some states, where you don't have state taxes, it can make changes. Now, one of the things that I will challenge is this: where your tax dollars go, and this is the thing, and this is one of the reasons I kind of stay away from politics for the most part. Where the tax dollars go, have already been allocated, right? So when they start taking our tax out of our checks, the funds that go to the places that they go to, and I try to not to talk about the politics much because it's a distraction and the small things bring us together. Big things usually have a tendency to push people apart. When it comes to politics and where the money goes and who's getting it and how they're using it, that's a distraction. If we spend our time focusing there for too long, it'll get us off of the purpose of where we're going in the direction that we're traveling in. And here's what I do know. I do know in order for you to build a business, in order for you to build your life, in order for you to build, in order for you to build anything, you have to have a focus on creating a goal and doing things for yourself. And the other part that you have to realize is that when you start to look at things that are outside of you, that are outside of your control, they can significantly limit the growth and development that you can do for yourself, right? Now, one of the things that I've come to understand, and it was in large part in this last election, is that I don't need to be prepared. You have to understand that the wealthy, the super rich, they don't prepare for financial climates. They don't care about wars in Ukraine. They don't care about people's sexual orientation, their gender. They don't care about where you want to work. They don't. People who are super rich are focused. They're focused on being super rich. And why doesn't it matter to them? Because it doesn't. Because it doesn't impact their money. Here's one thing about the super rich. Super rich don't pay taxes. Why don't they pay taxes? Because they don't get paid. Money comes out of tax. The money for our government comes out of taxes. It comes out of our paychecks. I think Dave Chappelle was the one who said, he did this joke about Donald Trump on a stage with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And it was the moment Trump, he says the moment Trump kind of became the guy was they were like, Trump was like, the tax system is broken. It's crooked. He's like, it's a crooked tax system. He's like, it's broken. And then Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama was like, no, it's not. It's not rigged. It's not broken. He said, of course it is. Trump was like, of course it's broken. And so then the question became, well, how do you know it's broken? And Trump looked at him and says, I know it's rigged and I know it's broken because I use it. I use the rigged, broken system. Right? So now it's what you call an honest liar, right? Or a dishonest truth teller. I don't know how to phrase it, but essentially what it's saying is when someone tells you, hey, I know there's a problem, and I know there's a problem because I'm taking advantage of the problem, right? Then all of a sudden you're like, dude, like at least we agree on that. That's a small thing that we agree on is that there's a problem. How do we fix the problem? Oh, we don't agree on that. No, this is a big conversation that drives us apart. But the little conversation about, hey, there's an issue with the tax code, it brings everyone together. We can all agree on that. So here's the thing though, and this is what I say about developing ourselves and developing ourselves personally, is that we have the ability to be able to say, it does not matter what's happening outside of me. I need to build the knowledge to be able to build the life I want to create for myself. I need to create more than I consume, and I need to understand the same way there's money to be made in a bull market, there's money to be made in a bear market. The same way that there's money to be made during a recession, there's money to be made during a booming economy. There's money to be made in all of these places. The question is, and here's the big thing, are you doing today the things you need to do? Because I don't care what you think the next 5 years are going to be, right? Things fluctuate. Go like this constantly. Things fluctuate. It doesn't matter what you think the next 5 years are going to look like. Are you doing the things today so that 5 years from now, you're not asking the same questions today that you're asking? You're not asking the same questions 5 years from now that you're asking today. So 5 years from now, when the market is going in a different direction, you don't have to ask, hey, what should I do? Where should I invest my money now that the market is going up? You shouldn't have to ask that question because you got 5 years to learn. You have 5 years to educate yourself. You have a lot of history to look at. You don't have to start to ask yourself these same questions. How do I improve my health? Sigma's 15, Lucky's 15. 5 years from now, they're going to be 20. They should not be asking the same questions at 20 they're asking at 15. They should not be in the same place. You shouldn't be, if you ask today at 15 years old, should I start a YouTube page? 5 years from now, at 20 years old, you shouldn't be saying, well, man, do you think now is a good time to start a YouTube page? No, 5 years ago was a good time to start the YouTube page. This is why it's important to understand it's the work that we do on ourselves that make us who we are. It's that development and that growth that we do on us. Because presidents are going to change. Political climates are going to change. Governments are going to change. Codes are going to change. All of these things are going to change. The thing is, are you knowledgeable enough about the things that change to know how to capitalize when they do? Right? And then that's going to help us. Hey, old man, thanks for stopping in, man. It's always great to have you in here. Take care. You enjoy that time at Mexico. I'm going to be off of here in just a few minutes, guys, but I did want to thank everyone for stopping in. I did want to thank everybody for being a part, for anyone who commented. Please, if you haven't had the opportunity to like, please drop a thumbs up. If you haven't had an opportunity to go past the channel, please do so. Please like, subscribe, share. This is all about building wealth, but you build wealth through building yourself by creating who you need to be, by learning to invest more time in yourself than you invest in your job. It gives you the opportunity to do great things and see great things, right? That's what's important for everyone to understand. Understand that the things that have kept you broke in the past are not things that you can change. The things that kept you broke in the past are in the past. You can't change. What you can change are the things that you're going to do today that will prevent you from being broke in the future. The things that you're going to do today that are going to prevent you from suffering in the future. And those things are simple. We went through all 5 of them. 1, stop waiting for the right time to get ready. Stop waiting for it to feel ready. Get started. You're already ready. Start working on it. Learn as you grow. 2, invest in a skill that pays you back. If you think you're not ready, start learning, start doing it, start doing the work, and then invest to get better in that skill as you go. Whether you're investing time by volunteering or doing an apprenticeship, or whether you're investing in actual purchasing of the books, or the education necessary to do it. Invest. Next. 3, stop thinking that you're going to save yourself rich. Understand the money that you save is designed to be spent to grow. You do not get rich. You do not get rich by saving money. All money that you save is intended to be spent. I meant to say this earlier. Businesses do what's called allocation. Businesses say, we are going to do this 15 years from now. Over the next 15 years, we are going to set aside this amount of money every year so that 15 years from now, we have this money to do this investment. Even if things change and 15 years from now, they decide not to do that with that money, they have that money. But you do it today. You don't wait until this is the day that we want to do this thing and say, where do we get the money from? You have to understand that saving money is for the purposes of spending and investing, not spending. Saving money is for the purposes of investing money. Because when you invest money, even if it's on a trip, even if you invest money on a trip to get away, it has value because it allows for you to recover, it allows for you to reset, and it does not take away from your budget. It does not take away from what you've already had set aside. Right, so 1, feeling ready. Stop waiting to feel ready, get started. 2, invest in a skill that's going to pay you back. 3, you cannot save yourself wealthy. 4, your budget should not be built around your bills. It should be built around your goals. Stop building your budget around the bills you have to pay. Build your budget around your goals. If you need X amount of dollars to achieve this goal, then build it around that. If your bills prevent you from reaching said goal at said time, reduce your bills as low as you possibly can. If you cannot reduce your bills any further, then you need to reevaluate your plan. And 5, you are consuming more than you're creating. That's big. When you're consuming more than you're creating, you're essentially saying at this point, I have money and I want to take things in. I want personal enjoyment. I want to be happy. Fine. You can work hard. You can achieve that. You can work towards it. Creating means that you can have that mentality and it won't stress you. Having the creating mentality means that you can still consume at a high rate, because we all consume. You can still consume at a high rate, but that rate should be in comparison to your creation rate. And so if you're creating great value, the more value you create, the more you can consume. So guys, thank you for stopping in. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys the next time we're here. God bless.